Okay.
Excellent. So we are going to be using Nearpod today, okay? So first, what we want you to do is to get into Nearpod. Mariah will be on the chat, so if you have any questions, she will help you. Mariah, if you can share the link of Nearpod on the chat so people can join. This is the code. And then we can wait for a few minutes, but if no, because we don't want to take much time, because this is a short webinar, we're just going to continue. Okay, so we're still having 5. Okay, so we're gonna just continue. Welcome everyone. Today we have our first tech talk. As you see, of course, we have some technology problems. We never experienced that, but we still fix, because there are so many tools that could help us to just come up with a solution. And thank you for being here. We are back with some ideas, and today we are going to talk about how to transition to teach ELA, English Language Acquisition, online. And we're going to talk about some topics and a new idea that we have for webinars. So my name is Montse, and I'm one of the presenters, and I'm very excited to be here with you today.
And I'm Don, and there's my email. Feel free to contact me anytime.
And I'm Mariah. I'm one of the presenters as well, and there's my email if you ever want to get in touch with me.
This is the team, and the idea for this, because we know you guys are busy and tired and been looking at so many webinars, we just want to do something different, and we're going to talk about a little bit today. How can we help as a team, and how we can talk about supporting English language acquisition students.
The objectives of today are pretty simple. We have 3, and they are, we hope that at the end you will be able to accurately assess the access issues, if any, that you or your students have, and identify problems and select solutions for that. We hope that you can identify and implement essential elements of student onboarding, of the student onboarding process for an online class, and evaluate your own readiness to succeed and teach in an online area, and fix any weaknesses that you may have.
So we have a quick check-in for you guys, and now, because we started a new year, we want to know, what are your greatest challenges when teaching online? Greatest challenges. So now we want to use Nearpod. So you get into your tab or your phone or iPad, and then let me hide the answers, the people. I like to, so we don't know who's responding. So if you can respond, what are your challenges when you're teaching online? What you've been learning, and yeah, what areas you need to work on. So please take a minute and respond. And if you are knowing Nearpod, you can also use the chat, and Maria will let us know. So we have one answer.
So how do you make it go? How do you make it submit?
You have to. Are you on a tab or on a phone, Nancy? What are you doing?
No, I'm on a laptop.
Laptop. So on the bottom there is a submit button. Do you see it? Although you don't have anything.
No, I had something covering it.
Oh, good. Okay. Yes, that happens. I was looking at the same on my phone. I'm like, something is covering it. Okay, those are very good responses, you guys. Can you all see my screen before I even continue? Yes? Done? Can everybody see the screen, Mariah?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So let's give it 2 more minutes. And let's take a look, because we have some things in common, as you can see. Okay. Excellent. So I'm just going to continue. So we have interaction, engagement, interaction, navigating through, and helping students to get online. Very good responses. Thank you. We're going to talk about it today, about those topics. So in this presentation, we are going to talk about three main areas. Those areas are the ones that we based on research and also based on our experiences as instructors and teaching immigrants in a way, we found these three areas the most key to support students when they are learning online. So if you see this little diagram, we have these three areas. The first one is teacher preparation. So we divide it in teacher professional development and teaching online. Then we have student onboarding, and then we have student motivation and student onboarding to class. Those are very important, right? How we keep students engaged and motivated to learn English online, but also how we support them with the technology. And we saw that in the responses before, that one of the challenges was that, how they navigate, how they access. So we're going to talk about that. And also the key component is access to technology. So the students, are they ready to learn online? And are they also ready to learn, but also to access? Can they get into the computer? Do they even have the internet to connect? Do they have a device? So those are very good points that we're going to talk today.
I'm going to be talking mostly about teacher preparation, and Monse and Mariah, I think, are going to be talking mostly about student preparation. One thing that Monse came up with is a rubric that we're going to be sending to you, or have we already sent that out, Monse?
No, it's going to be at the end, and maybe Mariah, she can send it on the chat, but at the moment, we have a rubric that we will share with you guys.
Just wanted to remind you that it's something that can help you use some of the information that you have today. Next screen, please. Steps to online success, and this is for you as an instructor to think about. What are your objectives, not for your students, of course, but also for yourself. Decisions that you have to make about your course and what you're going to do and how much you're going to be available, etc., and your level of commitment to 24/7, 365. And please consider the following elements when we in your online class, things to think about. Next slide, please. The learning objectives, what do your students need? You know your students well, you know what they need, what they don't need. It's important to have an idea of where you want them to be as far as outcomes go. Is your platform secure? What are you using? Are you comfortable with it? And are your computer skills where they should be? There are good computer self-assessments that you can use to make sure that you're up to the task. Is your instruction going to be synchronous, asynchronous, or a combination? It's a good idea to make sure that you're aware of that. You make that decision, or maybe these decisions are already made from you. Your program is, your boss has told you what to do, whatever. But some of these are your own decisions, like office hours. Are you going to have office hours? Are you going to be available, email, text, phone, whatever, all the time? Or are you going to have specific times for that? If it's asynchronous, of course, your class hours are not going to be the same all the time. And of course, formative assessment. Make sure that that's constantly used, and then your summative for post testing and reporting for your own improvement and for NRS reasons. We are going to be referring to the work done by the Ideal Consortium and the Distance Education and Blended Learning Handbook. It's been updated to the 7th edition, and a couple of things in the appendices there are great tools for you to prepare yourself and your students for online learning. The next slide, Monty, can you? Yeah, thank you. So here it is, and it's 100 and some pages with all the chapters, and after that there are the appendices here, Appendix A, the Learner Intake Survey is the one. Appendix A and Appendix D we're going to talk about today. The Learner Intake Survey serves the student, now your students are already assessed, of course, or you assess them, maybe tape, Class E, whatever you use, but the intake survey for online is much more specific. It covers things like, do you have time? Do you have the internet? Do you have a device? Those kinds of things. Are you willing to work by yourself? Do you like to work with other people? Do you like to do things yourself, etc.? So the link is in the chat there. Is that what I saw?
Yes, sir.
To this book. This has been around a long time. It may not be the flashiest, most modern looking kind of thing, but that one and the other Appendix D is a computer skills assessment for you, for the instructor. So not a bad idea to just check yourself, see how you are, if there are weaknesses in your game, how you can upgrade those skills. Next slide, please. So this is what the computer skills assessment for teachers looks like, and it's kind of hard to see that. You can go to the handbook to see that. Next slide, please. Just quickly, suggestions, reminders when you begin your class. Really, really, really important to get as much contact information for each student as possible. If your students are anything like mine, they come and go. They're around for a while, they stop out, they come back, and what happens? They forget their, they change phone numbers, they whatever. Try to get as much information as you can and keep track of it. And we recommend that you assess and assist your students before you start class so they're ready to go. Practice with fun things at first, and then practice with actual content before you really expect your student to begin producing and contributing and being engaged online. Make sure that their computer skills are good and their content skills are good. And the last slide, I think I want to cover a couple more here. This is something, real simple thing that I used, and just a tracking sheet. And what I have is a name and a couple of phone numbers at least, when the student was enrolled, what kind of device they're using, and their internet service provider, just so I can help them if they need help. Also, it's a really good idea to keep track of your students' usernames and passwords for everything they're going to be using. You know what? We all forget our passwords, and our students are notorious for that, especially if they're, stop out and come back. They may not remember those things. So if you have this, it's going to help you out a lot. Their NMDELT account, of course, and learning programs, login, usernames, etc. Quick note on student onboarding. What we're going to talk about remediation, particularly next week in the workshop. We're going to mention more things, but we're going to cover some today. And what to do if your students aren't ready for online learning. We have some ideas, low-tech and high-tech ideas. And next slide, please. I know I'm going through quickly here, but we have a lot of material to cover. Now, what, as far as you're concerned, talking about student onboarding now, are the essential elements of student onboarding? We have here another feature of Nearpod, a collaborative board. Thank you. Please write in your ideas. Right, Monse?
Yes, please do. And we want to hear, when you do onboarding, what are the key components that you really you go over with your students. So goal setting is very important, but in your experience, commitment. Oh, that's a good one. Commitment, coaching. Coaching for careers, or goal setting too, that is related to goal setting. That's a very good one too. So somebody else does that, the testing, and then somebody else does advising, something like that.
Boy, this one, our students are tested outside of class. Yes, they're tested in an academic way. Are they also assessed for their ability to succeed in an online environment? If not, that's kind of on you as an instructor to make sure they are ready.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna give one more minute, so please, if you haven't responded, just do. We would love to see your response. You met with your students in person. That's great. We haven't. We've been doing everything online, and it was so stressful. It was very stressful. This semester was better because we practiced. Yeah, but last semester was but it's very good. Okay, thank you for your responses. We're gonna go to the next slide.
That's the learner intake survey. We looked at that before.
Okay. So I go to the next one? Yes?
Yes, please.
Okay, now let's talk about teacher PD, right? We all been through so much and we are tired, but we wanted to be brave. Mariah, Dawn, and I, we were like, hey, what we should do to support our teachers? We do have a lot of faces and people that we love, and we've been working for so many years together. So we were thinking that we want to propose this idea, and we're going to just give it a shot, right? Just try it this semester. What we're going to do, we're going to have a webinar that is 30 minutes long, and then we're going to have a second session that is a workshop. Means that all the topics that we talk during the webinar, we will do a hands-on learning session where we can create rubrics, we can do an assessment, we can check some assessments, depending on what you need. So because the three of us will be working, we can bring some new ideas that we are doing in the classroom to help you, or you can share some also strategies that you are implementing. The idea is to create this community and do some more small group support. So you don't need to attend, but if you really want to try new things that we are going to mention here, come back next week and we can show you how to do it. We can share. If you really need to learn about something that we mentioned, and we can get those resources together, so let us know. The idea is to have more practice and not that much theory. We know that everybody's learning so much. We really want to now practice and just get to connect with each other. So we're going to have our first workshop on February 4th. It's at 12:30, right, guys? 12:30 to 1:30? Dawn, Maria?
I believe so.
Okay, we will gonna confirm the time, but we're gonna do it longer than half an hour. So we hope you can join us. Go ahead. What is it again? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so 12:30 to 1:30, and please join us. And if you see any topic here that you want to explore further, we're gonna go. Then we're gonna also keep using our website. And if you don't remember, we are going to share that on the Facebook Workplace page again. And we have a lot of resources that we want to share with you. And again, if you have any ideas or specific needs, just let us know. So let's talk about motivation, because this one was one of the answers that we received. And that's one of the challenges. We all struggle with that because of COVID, but also because online learning makes it a little challenging. So I know this is a little small. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Let me see here. I can make it a little bigger. Oh, it's not making it bigger. You see? Okay, there we go. This is the bigger they can be. So I want you to think as a road. This is a road and this is a path. So first, like we recommend and we usually do in our practices is to determine the goals and the short and long-term goals. So check out the questions. First of all is to identify who are your students, right? And this is the thing that Dawn was saying in the beginning. Check off these assessments. Maybe you have one-on-one sessions with them. In our program, we did open house. Everybody was invited. And then I met with one-on-one with my students, and we talk about goals, and we got to talk about what are the benefits of online learning and all those things. So that really helped us to increase the numbers of students this year in my class. It took me a lot of time, but this section was key. Then we talk about communication. So one of the things that my students said, the students in the program said that they felt isolated and they missed to have the class because they don't have space at home. So we start using a lot of communication tools. We are using WhatsApp. We are using Facebook group. We are using, we are in Facebook group. We are sharing pictures. We also on WhatsApp, we share pictures. And then each class has other, their own systems. So this is very important. And we do a lot of games and we call them challenge because we know students struggle with posting and with recording themselves. So challenge, that's the kind of gamification we are using. In terms of contextualized learning, we are using a lot of hands-on learning. We are having kind of project of students creating presentations. We are doing a lot of also interviewing and trying to connect members in the community to come to the class so students can actually talk to them and practice their English. Also talk about social and emotional learning in every session, a little session or reflection, which let us, they give us feedback and how they feel about the class. And one of the teachers that is in the class said that our students are being very honest about it. And it hurt a little bit, but it worked very well. And the last thing that we wanted to talk today is about promoting self-directed learning. One of the new things that we are using is giving choice. I don't know if you guys are familiar with choice boards. Actually, you give a board with different choices of projects, the same topic, but the students have the option to choose that. So that's something that we would like to we are doing this semester. I hope that works because, again, we are trying new things to keep students motivated and try to give opportunities for students to be self-directed, but also driven by them, the presentations, again, and they have to present or share or choose an activity that they want to try. So those are some strategies that we are using. I'm going to share the outcomes of that. And if you have any other ideas, please write it in the chat. We would love to hear. Or you can join us in our workshop and we can talk about it and maybe share some of the strategies we are using. We would love to collaborate with you. So then let's talk about access to technology. So I want you to look at these two scenarios. The first one is the support that students get from the institution. For this year, we got a lot of support. They got computers, tablet, never happened before. It was so nice. It was so much easier. However, because before we didn't have much support, we in my program and in teaching, we learned how to actually choose what works best based on what we have. And we didn't have many resources. So a lot of the students, they didn't have internet or sometimes work well and sometimes didn't. So something that we implemented to do in the beginning to use those assessments that we show, but also we were checking the internet speed. And I want you to check. In some classes use Zoom, other classes use Google Meet because it's what we have, right? And I want you to check that a lot of the times we expect students to get online, and sometimes they don't have even the internet. So one of the first things we did was to check the internet speed test. And we did give them that. They will text me how fast was the internet, and then I realized, man, I can't tell my students to join. They can't. It's not like they don't know. It's just the internet doesn't work. And also, it gets very disruptive when you are in your class. I bet you guys have that person or that student that comes and goes, and you hear on the microphone, you hear the sounds in the background. So something that it will change, really, the game if you do that. Maybe you already do that. But if not, I recommend that you really pay attention to what is the internet that they have. Sometimes we expect a lot of that, and the conditions are not right. So then we have to choose what is better, synchronous or asynchronous, right? What are the
really good idea, Monse. Excuse me, really good idea,
Yeah,
Monse.
go ahead.
And when I ask people that question, a lot of times they answer. Their answer is what their internet service provider told them they were getting. Well, it's almost never the case that that's the truth. So this speed test.net is a really good idea.
It is. And you know what I did? I made a video. I sent it to my students via WhatsApp, show them how to do it, and then send me a picture or the number. And it's true, though. A lot of people were like, wow, is this a lot? Is this low? So also, this is a good lesson to talk about access, but also digital literacy skills, right? You need to know what you're paying for, and also how you make sure that you're getting the service that you're paying is very important. And based on that, you determine the systems, right? The learning management system, the engagement, interaction, and there are many, but this is all this is going to depend on the internet that you have. And we can talk again more about it in the workshop if you attend, but this totally changed the way that we are teaching now. And we are gonna go, this is the last thing, so please stay with us. I know we were almost over, but actually because we have those problems in the beginning. But Don mentioned that we have a little rubric for you to use, because we know we talk a lot about a lot of topics, but we do have we can propose some solutions, and maybe you already are doing something that could help us all, right? Because it depends on your location, your students, and all of things. So we created this rubric. You will see it, and maybe Maria can, and let me just fix this so you can see it bigger. Oh, it's not working there. There we go. Okay, that's kind of big, but perfect. Thank you for sharing that. What we want you to do is to actually make a copy of this document, and we want you, based on what we talked today, because we mentioned a lot of topics, is to just reflect on yourself. Like, where am I now? What do you want to accomplish? It could be a system, it could be a new technique, it could be using something like Screencast-O-Matic and record my own sessions, because I have to do a lot of asynchronous learning this semester because there's not much internet, so I have to be more flexible. And then just an idea of how do you get there? What are the steps? Put in 1 hour a week so I can practice, getting help from people that know how to use it. So please, really, the idea is for you to reflect, because we all have to improve, or maybe we want to accomplish some goals for this semester. So the idea of this is for you to write your let's say goals, and then you can come back for the workshop with some ideas, and we can talk about it and see how we can help. Mariah, for example, I know she uses a lot of techniques and she's always learning new things, so she could have something that could help. The same with Dawn, or one of the participants too. Do you want to add something, Dawn, to this? What I just said? Hello? Mm-hmm. Or Mariah, would you like to add something? Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Mariah.
I think it's always a good idea for us to reflect on ourselves. I know as teachers we have so much going on, and like we said, tech talks and all of that. It just gets very overwhelming, and sometimes we just need to stop and reflect on ourselves and say, okay, this is what I know. What do I want to actually do with what I know, and how can I get there? So I really think this is a good time to just stop. Maybe not do, normally we have like an hour, so take the other half hour to really stop and say, okay, where do I want to go with this, and how can I accomplish it? So I think this is a really good tool for any kind of teacher. If you're a new teacher or if you're a seasoned teacher, it's good to always be reflecting and seeing how much better can I get.
Yes.
Well said. Well said. And
Yeah.
just we will be following up with this next week. So Cindy, Larice, Emily, Patricia, Farah, Nancy, we're all looking forward to seeing you again next week, and a few more folks if possible, and that's fine too. But we're going to be following up with this with you folks to see what kind of things we'd like to hear from you next week about how this went for you.
Yes. Well, thank you for that, you guys. And well, this is the same document. And in conclusion, this is like we would like to see. And please come to this. I know you guys, a lot of you, we did a survey, and at some point people wanted more hands-on learning, more slow, more hands-on, more one-on-one support. Don, I know, can talk more about it, but that's why we wanted to create something new. So it's not a lot of content, it's more practice, and we all can create this community of learners and learn from each other. So the next session again is next week. So please join us. We would love to see you. And this is the end. Thank you for staying with us extra 5 minutes. We are back, and we really would love to see you and keep working So this is a little link, so you can give us feedback, and so we can improve. And again, give us a chance to work with you, attend the workshop, and we are looking forward to see you. Thank you for being here today. It's so nice to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, Nancy.
Likewise, Nancy.
Thank you guys for everything.
Yeah,
That's
we will
great.
see you.
Cindy.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm going to stop recording now.